I think, when we're in the midst of doing this podcast and there are like 7,000 Star Trek episodes, I think it's easy to get lost in the
7,000
episodes.
7,000.
I think it's easy to get like lost in the morass, basically, like to get lost in the grand scheme of things. So I think it's occasionally important that we recognize where we are in history and things like that.
7th episode.
The 7th episode. Not only is this, in my opinion, we'll see what you say, the worst Enterprise episode to date. This if someone put this on a top 10 worst of all Star Trek episodes, I'd say that probably is okay. That's like, it's not a crazy thing for me to say that belongs there. I thought this was awful, and like historically awful for Star Trek. I don't know what you thought about it though.
I had a really weird roller coaster ride watching this because there were parts of it where I legitimately didn't know how I was feeling about it, because there were parts of it, mostly the Bruce Davison parts, where I was like, I think I actually like this, because he was great.
He's great.
All
of
good. His monologues, he was fantastic. He was making me believe every single word of it. But then as I'm watching this, I'm thinking like, why the fuck are they telling this story? Why does T'Pol really need to have this weird, dark backstory about killing a possibly innocent man? It seems like she's being written completely out of character. And it's like top to bottom full of one of my least favorite things that I'm sure everybody knows at this point, which is talking about people and events that you don't actually see on screen, as though we're supposed to care about them.
I thought you were going to go with the other Enterprise special, which is a mystery because people don't tell anybody anything. It's a mystery. It's an artificial mystery because no one says what's going on, even though they know what's going on.
It's got a lot of squares filled up on the bingo card of things that I don't like. But for some reason, as I was watching it, I was like, do I really like this? And then about halfway through, I was like, no, I think this is really bad.
I think this is terrible. I thought this is
my favorite part. My absolute favorite thing about this episode, though, is that she's going down to chase this guy with Mayweather, and she sidles up to Archer and is like, can you please come with me? I need someone I can trust, and I just can't.
Not this black guy.
No. And then they just like, the guy that they get is supposed to be this like super criminal or something.
Arms dealer, basically. Yeah.
They just like leave him alone with Mayweather while they go and talk for 20 minutes. And of course they come back and the bar's on fire.
Mayweather is just like, well, what are you going to do? I have a lot to say about Mayweather in this. If I was the actor who plays Mayweather, I forget his name at this point, it's something Anthony or something like that. I would be starting to become offended by my usage in this one. There's no reason for him to go on this mission at all. And if you're going to write him as if he needs to go, why does he not say anything? All he does in this one is Archer's like, go check the life support. And he goes, okay. And he walks off. It's like, go do this.
I thought he was going to stay on the ship or something. I thought he was going to stay in the shuttlecraft, which is why she asked Archer to come.
Right, because she needs someone else to go with her. No, he goes. Yeah. But like so many of the shots, it's Archer and T'Pol, and he's just in the background. He's like in bokeh, he's like blurred out because he's not relevant enough to be actually in the shot. And if I was him, I'd just be like, guys, why did you even write me into this scene? Like, I'm happy getting paid and not coming in to shoot anything. Like, you can continue to do that if you want, but why am I just here?
I've got a bagel over there that's getting cold. If you don't need me, I'm going to go eat that bagel.
Yeah, the thing about not trusting Mayweather. The only thing that the only thing that I found somewhat interesting about this, and it has nothing to do with the production, because this happened 20 years later, this was weirdly topical in the current debate about police conduct, where T'Pol shoots a guy going for his weapon, and then the other thing is she shoots a guy running away at the very end. That's the thing that happened
shoots
to that. I forget. Shoots him in the back. I forget that guy's name. There's a lot of people who've been shot in the back by cops, obviously, but like I thought you meant the character in the show. I was gonna they say his name like 1,000 times. No, I don't remember his.
It never sticks because it's someone I've never heard of before.
Oh, it's not Midas, Minos, something like this. Minos or something.
Minos, the Hands of Fate, yes.
But that's the only thing that I pulled away from this. I was like, wow, this is weirdly touchy, quote unquote, in today's context, where like if you dig into this, it's just about like the lengths that T'Pol is willing to go, but that's going to tie into more of like Archer's characterization, which makes no goddamn sense in this episode. I'll throw it to you after I say this. So I think the problem with Enterprise for me as a series to this point is that while all the other Star Trek series, the ones that we've covered, you can kind of say the problems with them are conceptual on some level. Like TOS when it got bad. Well, TOS is different. TOS when it got bad was because of budget cuts and because people started getting fired in the third season and stuff. And so it all went downhill. They knew the show wasn't continuing, so I don't think people really cared at that point. And TNG, its rough start was its rough patch was in the beginning when they didn't know how to write TNG. They just tried to reboot TOS and it didn't work, just for a combination of stories and characterization, and like modern TV structure didn't work with it. DS9 was bad in the start because they didn't know what they had. They tried to do a TNG thing and it wasn't working, and they took a couple seasons to get into what they wanted it to be. We haven't done Voyager yet, but Voyager's probably the start of this. Enterprise, to me, it's clear that the people leading this production don't care about this series. They just don't care, which makes it very difficult to talk about. And people are going to say that like it's like, oh, you guys have a whole bunch of Enterprise to get through. The reason Enterprise to me is so discouraging is because Berman and Braga clearly don't care. They don't care about any of this stuff. Like these stories are so trite and stupid, and it's the bare bones necessity of a story that they've written into a script, and there's nothing on top of it. And that oral history I read, people were just saying like they didn't want to say bad things about Braga, but it's like he was either tired or he's just worn out. He's been doing this for a decade. He doesn't want to do it. But at that point, it's more cynical to me. It's like they just took it as a paycheck. It's like It's not like he could have got a job doing something else. So I don't know why he came back to do this. But I'll throw it to you just by saying that the 7th is a clusterfuck of a script. I don't understand anything that goes on in here. Like I fundamentally understand everything that happens, but at the same time, I don't know why any of the characters are acting this way. I don't understand any of the side plots. I don't understand any of the motivations. I don't understand why T'Pol acts this way. I don't understand why Archer acts the way that he does, and I don't understand why Mayweather is on the mission in the first place.